So this is just a really quick video on everything I like and dislike so far about this is a 2022 Ford Bronco, two-door of course. I got it in November of 22, so I've had it around 2 years now, 2 years and 1 month. In those 2 years and 1 month, I have put 31,000 miles on it, so I feel like I've driven it a pretty decent amount. I'm just going to go over everything kind of real quick, not super in depth, but just things that I would have liked to see before I bought this. I'm just going to dive right into what I always used to look up and had a hard time finding information about is the storage. So what I've recently done, since I have a two-door, obviously I'm not driving around a family, I remove the rear seats. It's actually really easy to remove and put them back in. As you can see, whenever you do remove the seats, you have a ton of room, or at least enough room for things that I do. And as far as if you wanted to sleep back here or something, I have before. I put my head back here in the back, and I'll put one of the seats forward, and I'll do that right now just to show you that there is plenty of room. Obviously, not room to spare, but enough room to lay down. One note of things that I don't like is whenever you do remove these, so you have these studs, those hold in the seat. Now normally I have so it's nuts that hold those on, and then there's screws up front. Normally I'll put the nuts just threaded on just enough to protect it so it's not sharp, but regardless, those studs are there. Pretty annoying. Secondly, these are holes, and as you can see, that's the ground. Again, normally I keep the bolts in there, but in this case I did not. And if you don't, you have a lot of extra road noise because that's just open to the bottom. You hear a lot of new sounds, so not the best thing. As you can see here, I put one of these cheap little storage racks. Not even a rack, it's it's mesh or fabric. But that's great. I love that. Highly recommend that. It does, of course, take a little space away whenever you have the rear seats in here, but nothing that's bothered me. But it's great because here I have my little toolkit that comes with the Bronco. I have my drone. I have a medical kit, extra storage. I really don't use this compartment. They say that's a cooler. Sure, but to be honest, I've never really used it besides putting spare clothes. So that's it for the back. With the seats in, of course, you have a little bit of a room issue, but nothing that I can't live with. Can't say that you do the same. As far as what I've done, you may notice that I have a PPF wrap. Love that. Absolutely love that. PPF, Expel, or whatever it is. I put this on at 300 miles, and it's withstood great. Especially in here, you'll notice some little chips in it and cuts, but that just goes to show how much it's saving the paint. Rock rails, put those on, especially with wide tires. These are 12.5 wide. You throw a lot of rocks, and it's constantly hitting your door whenever you drive through gravel, which I do a lot, and then onto the highway. It'll throw some gravel up on your door. That protects a little bit. Your fenders take a lot of damage. These things you may not be able to see, but there's all kinds of gashes and cuts. So if you're gonna do, kind of one of my ideas was to do some carbon fiber fenders, make up my own. I might still do that, but I wouldn't invest too much and expect it to stay pretty unless you put some kind of PPF on that. This is just leveled on 33-inch tires. Not a lift kit. This is not a Sasquatch. It rides great, feels fine. I kind of want it a little bit higher. I might do a lift kit. I don't know if I'll have to upgrade the tires. Did the buttons, love those. Only had them mess up once where my key got locked inside of it. But besides that, that's kind of all I've done to the outside so far, besides some lights. Diving up front, we'll get into some things that I do not like, and this thing is messy. I just wanted to do this video quick. Did a manual. Love that. Love the manual. Super easy to drive. Crawler gear. Of course, I had to get the 4-cylinder. Like I mentioned, I did not get the Sasquatch package, which I didn't really pay attention to. I don't get locking diffs. Don't like that. So I'm going to go into my 2 big things that I really dislike about this Bronco. Not enough that I say don't get a Bronco, but 2 things that I just feel like should be stated. One is something you probably hear about a lot, and that is the auto stop. I always have to press that, otherwise the engine shuts off whenever you go into idle or stopped. Not a huge thing, just annoying. My biggest thing is the infotainment system. This thing is the worst Apple CarPlay I have ever used in my life. I don't know if any other people have problems with it. I haven't looked into update videos on other people's opinions on these, but mine is constantly, and I mean constantly, like multiple times a day, it'll, let me think, if I'm doing wireless, it'll connect and show everything on the screen, but it will not have any audio. So then I got to go through all the settings, disconnect my phone, reconnect it. Usually it'll come back. That's probably one of the bigger things. Half the time it won't connect at all. And then if you connect to just Bluetooth, which I'll often do just because it's simpler, well, you have to navigate the, most of the time, not all the time, but sometimes you'll have to go to source, click on the Bluetooth as the source, and which, doesn't sound like a big deal. And again, this is nitty gritty, but whenever you click on source, it automatically goes to the radio and starts blasting the radio. So you get a little scare right before you can switch over to your phone. Again, nitty gritty, but that is very annoying. I use the wired CarPlay, same issues. I'll run into all kinds of no sound. But long story short, I can't think of everything right now, but that thing drives me crazy. One thing I will say is that the heat and the air conditioning slaps in this thing. I think my theory is that it's the same system in the 4-door soft top. So of course with a soft top you need really crazy heat and air conditioning. I found that if I turn it all the way, either way, within a couple minutes I'm either sweating or freezing. As far as the top, no issues with the top. I know that was a big deal whenever I was buying these, people saying they were leaking, all that, a lot of sound noise. I have not had any issues. One thing, I do have one squeak. Sometimes you have this latch. I found that if I put the latch like halfway cranked, where it's still holding down, it doesn't vibrate, doesn't make any noise. Going back, I got this blue because I thought not many people would get it. I think it's Area 51. And I was like, yeah, I'll put Expel. It'll look super sick. And I do like it, but I kind of wish I would have got Cactus Gray. I have plans for it. I want to do it. I've been super busy, but I'm hoping to start doing the YouTube thing where I can have excuses to do work to it. I have a lot of custom ideas for fenders and storage that I want to kind of fabricate myself. And if something turns out cool, I'll do it myself. But okay, this is just a quick video. Like I mentioned, there's probably things I'm forgetting, but it's something that I would have wanted to see before buying one. I absolutely love it. Mileage, not as good as you think. That's another thing. These things have a super tiny gas tank. I am filling up constantly, and I do not think, it says that I get about 18 miles to the gallon with 33s, again, 12 and a half wide. I do not think that I'm getting 18 miles to the gallon. It does not feel like it. I'm constantly refilling. I get it says 250 miles to the tank. I get less than that. I don't even want to know what this 4-cylinder would get if I had, I don't know, 35s, 37s on it, especially with a lift. Do not know, but yeah, so do not get it for an economy vehicle. I run 93. I have run low grade or mid grade in it. I did have one misfire show up on it through a code and ended up being a misfire. Since then, I only run 93 in it. It was also kind of a sketchy gas station, so there's that. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. Hopefully this helps. I love the car, love the 2-door. I haven't really had any problems where I'm like, dang, I wish I had a 4-door. But yeah.